Mic check, what's going on? Welcome back to another Hip Hop Snapshot. I'm your host, Ross Martinez. Today, this one, we ain't talking about the charts. We're talking about the resistance in hip hop. This one is going to be for the labels run from bedrooms, the shows thrown in basements, and the MCs who never begged for a label deal. Today, we're going to be highlighting the independent era in hip hop. The moment when the culture said, you know what? Nah. We're going to do this ourselves and keep it true to the culture. Grab a milk crate, take a seat. It's time to talk hip-hop history. By the late 90s, hip-hop was shifting. It went global. What started in the parks and block parties was now being filtered through radio edits, marketing meetings, and corporate formulas. The underground wasn't invited to the table, unfortunately, so they built their own. We have to spotlight these amazing record labels that were able to give hip-hop a new lifeline. Rawkus Records in New York, Stone's Throw in L.A., Def Jux in Brooklyn, Quantum Projects in the Bay Area, and Rhymesayers in Minneapolis. These record labels became safe havens for pure hip-hop heads. No gimmicks, no radio play, just raw beats, bars, and culture. These labels were more than companies. They were sanctuaries for artists, for fans, for hip-hop. You couldn't talk independent hip-hop without giving flowers to some of the early torchbearers and icons. Mos Def and Talib Kweli. Black Star. It wasn't just an album. It was a manifesto. MF Doom, masked, mysterious, masterful, the villain the culture needed at that time. Atmosphere, holding Minneapolis down with rhymes about his perspective on life. Company Flow, LP, Mr. Lynn, Big Just, pioneering industrial boom bap on their own terms. Freddie Fox, Tech Nine, The Coop, Living Legends, Hieroglyphics, all telling stories major record labels and media wouldn't even look at. The underground didn't ask for permission. They dropped classics after classics after classics. And it wasn't just artists that carried the torch. It was an ecosystem that was growing around hip-hop at the time. Fat Beats in New York, LA, and Atlanta, the temple of underground vinyl. You didn't just shop there. You networked, you battled, you gained knowledge. The fifth pillar. College radio stations like legendary WKCR, K-Day, Stretch and Babito. Underground shows on local airwaves kept raw hip-hop alive when commercial radio wouldn't even touch it. And even to this day, it won't. Magazines like The Source, before their fall off, and Double XL occasionally spotlighted underground movements, but it was more indie message boards like OK Player, .com, Spit Kicker, and even MySpace later on that kept the flame lit. Open mics and battle circuits from Scribble Jam to Lyricist Lounge gave the streets a stage. And you don't forget the mom and pop record stores who put vinyls in hands and flyers in backpacks. This era, the independent era, wasn't about trends. It was about truth. It was about culture. 3 things we learned from the independent scene. Hip-hop doesn't need $1 million rollout. Bars can hit harder than marketing. Culture lives in community and not in corporations. They resisted the watered down, the bling over substance, and held the line for artistry, lyricism, and authenticity. They created their own tours, their own fan bases, their own merch tables, and more importantly, they kept hip-hop from losing its soul. What they built in the independent era wasn't a phase. It was a blueprint many artists still use. Today's streaming kings and Bandcamp champs owe their playbook to the indie architects. Without the independent movement, there's no Griselda, no TDE, no Dreamville, no Odd Future, no Russ, no Chance the Rapper. The independent era proved that hip-hop would never be owned. It might get borrowed, packaged, and sold, but the heart of hip-hop, what makes this community and culture beautiful, will always and forever belong to the people. So next time you hear a track that makes you feel something real, that just isn't music. That's resistance. That's community. That's legacy. That's the spirit of the independent era still knocking, still breathing, still being hip-hop. So until next time, dig in some crates, expand your knowledge, and be hip hop. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.